Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. My name is Edward Townsend. I need to do a little house cleaning before we get started. Uh, as Facebook requires information concerning your music that you be playing up on the background, I'm showing them now that I have permission for the music that I use, so I would have no more interruptions. It says here on my platform, add music to your stream using one of our royalty free tracks. You won't have any copyright issues on the social platforms. That's with an S, all of them. I didn't leave any out. So I have permission to play this music, even though it don't belong to me, but I have permission. So I'm stating that to be clear and proceed with business without interruptions. Okay? So I hope that will solve the issue. And now I'm going to go ahead and do my prayer. Father, in the name of Jesus, we come to you this afternoon, Lord, just asking for wisdom and knowledge and understanding and the way to express yourself. And we thank you for protecting us and seeing over us for all the things that surrounding us to cause us harm, or other effects in our lives. So be with us today, Lord, as we go through the broadcast and bless the information that's going out, that it be a blessing to the receivers, Lord. All the kings and queens out there, Lord. Bless them. Open their minds and their eyes to be receptive of the good news and be a part of something bigger than themselves. And we give you all the honor, the glory, and the praise for everything that you do in our lives this day, Lord. This day, we're going to serve you, Lord. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. All right. All right. So we got a good day. This is Wisdom Wednesday. Going to happen upon you today. I have what I call my 7 cardinal rules of life. 7 cardinal rules of life. That sounds big. And it is big because life is what we all endure. Life is what we all go through, regardless of anything else that goes on in our lifetime, right? Life. And the Lord said, we wish we'd have life and have it more abundantly in all things that we do. And we got to do it the right way to get the most of it and out of it. I believe in putting the proper and the finisher first in all things. So number 1, make peace with your past so it won't screw up the present. Like I say all the time, the past is the past. Future's not promised to you. Today is the day that we have the power and authority to make a change. Not change what God's put in place, but a change that we can change the things that we do, how we operate, and help build our conscious mindset. The conscious mindset, if you don't feed it right, it's going to be a problem, like we talked about on Monday, right? So we don't want our present today to be interfered with. So that's what I meant by make peace with the past. Get rid of it. It no longer exists. We don't have to fight with our past. We don't have to see it in our face at all times. We don't have to deal with it every day because it will affect your present. And we don't want that to happen. All right? Number 2, what others think of you is none of your business. What other people think of you is none of your business. Your business is today, your present, right now. So that's what we want to deal with. The right now. Because we serve a right now God. 24/7. He's right here for us, ready to go to work, go to bat for us in our problems, in our situations in life. Okay. Number 3, Time heals almost everything. So give it time. We live in a microwave society and we expect everything right now, but it don't necessarily work that way. I stepped out of the norm, and I've been out almost 3 years now. And it's a beautiful thing. I don't have to fear, I don't have to doubt, and I don't have to be skeptical about nothing. The things that used to bother me, they don't bother me no more. That reminds me of my friend a long time ago. That was his song he wanted to sing in church every Sunday because he wanted to be in the choir. Things he used to do, he don't do it anymore. And that was his whole song, that one verse. But moving right along, number 4, don't compare your life to others and don't judge them. You have no idea what their journey is all about or what they had to go through. I can attest to that 100%. Most people don't know what you go through to get to where you are. They don't know the crying days and nights when you didn't have the Lord in your life or had a company keeper. We didn't know then, so we struggled. Even in business, I struggled with out-of-pocket finances. I had to finance it, but I knew that business was where I needed to be and wanted to be. See? So I had to do what I had to do. So no one knows why I'm sitting here today saying what I do. Because, see, I want God to bless me because what he blessed me with, I am imparting it into other people so that their burdens can be lightened, that they can go into things with knowledge firsthand about the situations of how it's going to work, right? Number 5, stop thinking too much. It's all right not to know the answers to everything. They will come to you when you least expect them. If we live in a microwave society, everybody wants it right now. Right now. The only right now I deal with is the right now God. He's right now with me as I speak to you. I prayed and I asked him to be a part of my broadcast, to lead and direct me in the ways that I should go, what I should say. Even if I have my notes, a few little notes here, I'm like I write a sentence and then I talk from the sentence. I don't have a long note. But when I read from an article, I read from an article because I want you to get the full understanding of that. So I asked him to go with me in all my doings because we need that guy. Number 6, no one is in charge of your happiness except you. Now that is a big. No one is in charge of your happiness except you. If you're not happy today, it's because, believe me, I know I had some unhappy days. I had some stressful days. I had some all type of days. But I learned to overcome them by that right there. No one is in charge of your happiness or your feelings except you. You is just like fear. Fear can't do anything to you, but it messes up things for you till you hurt yourself. Because the fear that goes on inside you causes sicknesses. But your mind is functioning, running 24/7. And if we don't feed it and do the right things that's cognitive to our mind, that has substance. Fear has no substance of good, only evil. It's a spirit. The spirit of fear. Same one God said he didn't give us. But it's provident in our lives. We use it 24/7. I spent a lot of years, a lot of time talking about fear, doubt, and skepticism. I hear it today. I hear it in a lot of things. The world is at a turmoil. Only God can straighten it out. All we have to do is do what it is that God has told us to do. Follow his commandments and be obedient. And love one another. Come together in unity. There's power, there's strength in unity, especially when you're like-minded people. That's why I always say I'm building a culture of like-minded people, and we're feeding the conscious mind. That's why I talk so much. I want to feed positivity into the conscious mind. You know, some people are reflective. What I mean by that is that they got a barrier up. Everything that's not fitting in the norm, they block it out. But they miss lessons in the process. There's no one way of doing anything. God will use the least expected person or things to get things done his way. You might not be the person that he picked to do that, but someone else might. You have to deal with that accordingly. Don't judge. Stop judging. It's not your job. See, when you judge, you will be judged. There's a karma law and there's a God law. Our karma law, we can bring it upon ourselves because we know better. See what I'm saying? It's different when you don't know. It still comes because it's the law. But I don't deal in the worldly laws other than what God say, obey the laws of the land. I deal with that, but I don't live and get deep in the norm anymore. So I'm shifted over to God's law, God's love, God's world. Got out of the worldly things, the worldly side. Okay. Number 7, smile. You don't own all the problems in the world. Smile today. You don't own all the problems. Some people take on all the problems. They're worried about the senators and what they're doing and the Republicans and the Democrats and all of this other stuff. Those people are wealthy. The problems that the everyday people have, they don't have. And believe me, when people don't have the problem, they don't talk and speak on those problems other than better themselves, but they really speak on stuff with no substance. I was listening to The View this morning, and we should have more forums on a daily basis with ordinary people. And I mean ordinary people, I mean everyday working class, hard-working, struggling people, so they can express how they truly feel. And that's why I talk all the time. I meet people, I have conversations. Some conversations I hear and I don't hear, because in their mind, you can discern that they had one sole purpose in mind, and that's it. So no matter what you say, won't change. So smile today. You don't own all the problems of the world. The ones you do have, you, not the world. Turn them over to God. He'll take care of it. That's what I do. That's why I'm at peace and I can smile. Sometimes I even laugh, because I go watch the funny comical movies, the old 50s and 60s, 70s and 80 movies. Funny. It makes you laugh. Laugh is good. Laughing is life. It's a euphoria. It takes your mind and body to another level. It makes you feel different. You ever had a laugh so hard to the sides of your head hurt? That's how powerful it is. So smile more today. Smile and be happy. Okay? So casting that burden that we have to cast those burdens out, because we're impressing the subconscious mind. The conscious mind is an everyday thing. It's aware of everything that's going on with you right now. So let's dig into the subconscious mind and that stores and keeps things. and reprogram that. Okay? So I'm going to read. When a man knows his own powers and the working of his mind, his great desire is to find an easy and quick way to impress the subconscious with goods for simple and intellectual knowledge of the truth will not bring results. In my own case, I found the easiest way is in casting the burden, just like the Lord said. The metaphysician once explained it in this manner. He said the only thing which gives anything weight in nature is the law of gravitation. And if a boulder could be taken high above the planet, there would be no weight in that boulder. And that is what Jesus Christ meant when he said, my yoke is easy and my burdens are light. He had overcome the world vibrations and functioned in the fourth dimensional realm, where there is only perfection, completion, life, and joy. So smile today. He said, come to me, all ye that are labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you, for my yoke is easy and my burden is light. We are also told in the 55th Psalms to cast our burdens upon the Lord. Many passages in the Bible state that the battle is God's, not man's, and that man is always to stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. This indicates that the super subconscious, that's divinely regulated and of God, the super subconscious, of Christ within, is a department which fights man's battle and relieves him of his burdens. That is the one. The conscious mind don't do that. It creates more burdens because it holds on to the past. It holds on to it records and keeps it on record until you reprogram. Okay? We see therefore that man violates the law if he carries a burden. And a burden is an adverse thought or condition. And this thought or condition has its root in the subconscious mind. It seems also impossible to make any headway directing the subconscious from the conscious or reasoning mind. As the reasoning mind, the intellect is limited in its conception and filled with doubts and fears. Whoa, there we are. Doubts and fears. But I talk about all the time. Fear, doubt, and skepticism. It's not good, people. We got to get rid of them. Get rid of out of mind. We start with the conscious mind. How specific it then is to cast the burden upon the super subconscious mind, that's of Christ within, where it is made light or dissolved into its native nothingness. For an example, a woman in urgent need of money made light upon the Christ within. The super subconscious, with the statement, I cast this burden of light on the Christ within, and I go free to have plenty. She wanted to leave the world of lack and be in the world of plenty. The belief in lack was her burden. And as she cast it upon the super subconscious, Christ, with his belief of plenty, an avalanche of supply was the result. We read, Christ in you, the hope of glory. Another example is one of my students had been a piano player, and there was no room in her home for her old piano and her new piano. That perplexed her because she wanted to have them both there. no place to send it, she became desperate. And the new piano was about to arrive. So one of her friends asked her if she could rent it from her to practice on. She gave it to her. So it works. We have to reprogram our mind so that it deals with the right now time, the right now things. This is wisdom Wednesday. We're talking about wisdom, being wise and perceptive and discern the goodness that God has placed here on this earth for us to live in and with. We could be at peace here if we would follow his instructions. I'm a true believer of following instructions. Okay? I want to talk a little bit about when you get wisdom for your vision, the result is supplied provisions. Supplied provision. What God put before you, I'll bring you to. He will also provide. Just the old saying that you hear all the time concerning the pastor, he who is called, God would also equip. It is true. Preachers that are called by God, a divine call, not just given titles like the different titles people have, apostles and different things, you know. There's a divine calling. There's a call. And they have different reasons and different purposes. If you were called to preach, God would also equip. Usually the men that's called a preacher are men working with families and has a lot of responsibilities. So if he believed that, God assured him that he will equip him with what he needs to provide for his family and to be stable and do the word of God the way it should be done. I speak what is given to me. It's not the norm, but nevertheless, it's the real. I speak truth. I speak understanding. I speak love. I speak within the law. God's law. Okay? So today, we're not going to be on here much longer. I just want the chat lines to open. Okay, one comment. Okay. Damian L. Powell. Thanks for sharing your words with William, my brother. You're welcome, sir. You're very welcome. And we would like to have you, sir, on our platform as one of our speakers one day. Okay, Damian. What state are you in? Okay. I like to also always respond. Oh, okay. Wow. Okay, see, I learned something else on the platform today. I can speak and it would type in what I say. So if you see it up there twice, okay. Oh, he says he's in Arkansas. See how God works? So am I, sir. Look forward to meeting you one day. And thanks for getting on the platform today. All right, we had a good person to come on today. And, you know, we need more report. We need to meet more people. We need, you know, everybody talks about the end time. See, I don't want the end time to be like we read it's going to be. When God's coming back, we all will be on the same accord, right? But see, there's got to be some time that we can come together without being the end time. It's the end times right now. Wars, rumor of wars, pestilence, disease. See what I'm saying? So get it right. Get it right today. Still live. Still have your provision, because we don't know the time, date, nor anything else. But we can still live abundantly. And we can still have the wealth that God intended for us to have. Have the wealth that God intended for us to have. But we lose sight of that because we're still in the worldly system. We got to get out of the worldly system so we can be bombarded with the goodness. It's not enough on the people bombarding people with goodness. It bothers me when people don't listen to what you have to say. I didn't say abide by it, believe only in it. I didn't say that. I just listen. Very few people listen and say, like Mr. Powell did, thank you for the words of wisdom. That's important to me. These are the people that God is looking for, because he can also see that they're listening to his words, his commandments, and what it is that he wants us to do and accomplish in this year's days and times. We're not doing the things. We're caught up in the worldly system. Everything is rapid and running right now, so on and so forth. We got to be politically correct in everything that we do. We're different people. My blueprints are different from anybody else's. These are only given to me. No one else has them. And it's no different than God doing things in our life that he intended for us to do. Nobody else, they had their chance of doing what he wanted them to do, but they're not focused. It took me years to get here because I let the things that I felt other people didn't like affect me. That was one of my 7 statements that I made. Stop thinking too much. It's all right not to know the answer. They will come to you later when you least expect it. See? That's what happened to me. I didn't give up. I kept going, but I fell behind. I started lingering behind. I wouldn't dare get up and broadcast and speak on microphone. And when I did, it was very short and very small. Even though I had a wealth of knowledge. I had a wealth of knowledge. Created a lot of people financially with abundance of cash. Some even became millionaires. See what I'm saying? But I know God is still in the blessing business. He's still working miracles. Maybe I'm like Moses. My million is on the way. Or not, but I'll get a chance to accomplish and I'll live the life that I so desire and he desires of me until. It's not my decision because I turn it over to God. I just keep doing the difference. Most people got to see something right now. What do you see in yourself? What are you doing to offset the norm? What are you doing to step out of bondage? It's just like on The View today, they were talking about climate change and who and what can happen with the president doing what he's doing and what other people are doing what they're doing. We talked about this one senator there, a wealthy man in an impoverished city in North Carolina, but he has a tremendous amount of wealth. So he don't see things like we see it. He don't see it. It's a waste of money when it's not his money. Money shouldn't be the issue with you and what the president's done. Get out of this political battle that people are having out there. Get out of it, Senator. You got constituents down here waiting to see what are you going to do to better help them. So they need to be, if not where you are, halfway there. Bring them out of bondage. Help them to get out of bondage so they can accomplish what it is God has for them. They don't know how to do it. They're not a believer, so they don't call on God a lot. Two-word prayer is very powerful. At your lowest point in your life in anything, God help. That's a powerful prayer. God help. Lots of people do it. God is listening. Ever since I came in the knowledge of that two-word prayer, I use it because I have a lot of things at their lowest point. Even some things in my life that was at my lowest point. So I say, God, help in sincerity. And it works. Get the pressure off. Get out of bondage of life. Okay? And I hope I said something today that will help you and ease some of the burdens that we have in ourselves. See, it's okay to strive for greatness. It's okay to be satisfied with where you are in life, but never stop striving. If you're not wealthy, if you're not a millionaire, don't stop striving. Don't block it because you don't want to do the works. See, wealth is not allocated. See, that's what the enemy has going on in the worldly side. They want you to believe that whatever you need, I have for you. You need money, I have a job for you. You need help, I have a system that can help you, that's controlled and owned by somebody else. Usually they have a hand within all the things that's holding you in bondage. It's time for you to step out in faith, doing what it is that you want to do. Nothing wrong with jobs. I'm not bashing jobs, but not let that be the job of your life. You can't leave that as generational wealth or generational legacy to your children's children. You cannot do that. That wealth is being stored up for the person that owns that business that you are helping to build business. You went to college, got the degree, got the higher education for years, spent a lot of money, a lot of student loan debt. See, the president dropping $10,000 is just a penny in the bucket to help the people that made less than $125,000 a year. That's everybody that's not wealthy. There's not a lot of people make $125,000 a year. So $10,000 will help a lot of people in a small amount. Still not big enough, because some people, 10,000, they got 110,000. Some even got 260, 70 of student loan debt. But the key, on my perspective and what I see, get rid of the penalty and the interest so that the people can pay it back. You take the income tax every year. They are trying to pay it off, but the penalty and the interest is so high. Get rid of the gadgets. Relieve the people of these bondage traps that they're getting caught in. The IRS is the same way. People trying to pay back the money. But the penalty and the interest keep them in bondage. You can never pay it. They regulate it in the mortgage. They regulate it on everything else because they have no part in that. They can't get their fingers in it. See, the IRS is going to hire a lot of people to go out and get money from the people that's struggling already. See what I'm saying? Focus on helping them. If I help you get an extra $1,000 or $2,000 a month, it helps you to live a little more easier in life. If you're a church tither, now you can tithe more. So the church don't have to bombard you with a lot of things that cause you to go further in debt. Not being compassionate about where you are in life financially. We got to think more of the people. See, the working class people and the have-nots supply all the wealth in the world. Not just the United States, but the world. We don't own nothing. We spend all our money on products and services that someone else owns, that we help build their wealth, but they're not appreciative. They talk about proper wages. They don't want to pay $15 an hour, but they want to say what we get, or what we need, or how we should live. We should do what they did. They had the same opportunity. No, they did not. I tell you, I shouldn't even be here speaking if it was based on what I had growing up. I grew up between two rivers in rural Arkansas. No lights, no water, no inside water, pump outside, no indoor bathroom. And I chopped and picked cotton all my young life until I became an adult. I didn't know what poor was because everybody around me was poor. Every household around the farm, the only one we considered, we didn't even say was wealthy, was the one that owned the farm. So we didn't understand wealth. We didn't know what wealth was. We just know we owned. That was a big thing. We owned. We didn't own a house. They gave us a place to live. It was just wood. No wallpaper on the walls, no linoleum on the floors, no tiles on the floor, no indoor running water, no indoor bathroom. Hey, it was just one step above slavery. And that one step was that we were free. We didn't have to stay there. We could have moved to the city, but we hadn't arrived yet. And I'm not talking about back in the 30s and the 20s. I'm talking about in the 50s, 60s, and phased out some in the 70s, by the 80s it was gone. That way of life. And it had a progress, how it did it. They put electricity in the house. Water was the last thing they got into the house. We were able to get a telephone in the country areas, but it was on what we call a party line. The party line. Beep, beep, beep. Oh, that's Miss Williams them call. That's their house phone, so don't answer. You know, being disobedient kids, we listen in on other people's conversations, but they could tell when you pick up. I always had 4 beats. The Johnsons were 4 beats and a half. You see what I'm saying? So I understand the bottom and didn't know it at the time. So when people are talking about wealth and allocations and all of these type of things, the mindset of the people, if you're the one that's always dependent on a system of somebody to provide for you, when God has given you a measure of talents and skills to live on, He didn't want us to toil for our provisions. See what I'm saying? But we are. And then we're wondering why we're not blessed. We're being disobedient. We're not following instructions. We give up. We become complacent. It's the same as bondage because you're stuck somewhere. Think of the 3 talents. Be the one that build or grow, not the one to be complacent. I got on from a different tangent, but it's all good. We were talking about the senators. They're debating, they're worried and protecting what's in their pockets, where their finances are. Not concerned about their constituents, the one that voted them into the house. So I don't deal in politics. My thing is the best man for the job. Whoever they vote in for president, if he gets voted out as president because he didn't do right, that's fine with me. I'm not overly enjoyed about any president. It's just a job. Some do better than others. They always have. One's better than the other. One has had a luxurious life all his life. His family was wealthy. Some didn't. So you weigh it out. Who did a better job? The one that had abundance or the one that struggled from the bottom but got there? And not based on the race, the color of their skins, their race, or any other thing. Just who did the best job based on what we live in here in the United States and what we go through. That only. So today is Wisdom Wednesday. I know we did a lot of wisdom conversations. Thank you, Mr. Powell, for getting on. And I will see everybody back here on Friday. Friday is Financial Friday. We will talk more about money. Today was Wisdom Wednesday. And all you kings and queens out there, I salute you today for getting on and being a part of our broadcast. It's growing. Our whole community is growing. Become a member of the Houston Wall Street movement. Help us to grow and to be better at what we're doing. We're here to amuse excuses and battles and challenges in people's lives. The perspective is key. Just join the movement now to help us. You can go to the website and become a member. It's there. You can just go there and click on membership, fill out the application, become a member. It don't cost you anything to become a member. Help us out. We need a lot of input from everyone. Okay. So if you're light on finances, or finances is a battle, then we have things that we can do for that. Okay. So there's a website you can go and become a member. WealthCreatorChange.net. Or if you want to increase your cash flow, you can go to clubbizmark.com, WCWH, Houston Financial Wall Street Move. Okay. And become a member there. It's free to join. Free to join. To increase your finances. Take a look. Even if you don't join, take a look. Read it, look at it, see it. Okay. It's different. Give you the opportunity so you can make things happen yourself and not be in bondage and dependent upon others to get it done. So always victory, and I see everybody at the top. God bless. See you on the next go round. So I'm gonna let it play for just a second there, so people can get that information down. And by all means, tune in with us on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and also, we're going to start back doing our Zooms in the afternoon, more participation. I don't need to be on Zoom to talk to myself. We need participants. Get on and join the conversation, even if you say, well, I don't like it because of this. But the topic wasn't what I thought it was going to be. Be a part of the topic. Be a part of the conversation. Be a solution to the problem. That's what we're all about. Doing it the right way. Getting things done that's beneficial to all. Not just me, not just a few. Everybody. That's why I say, when I leave my broadcast, I always say, always victory. And I'll see everybody at the top. It's not a one-way thing over here in this like-minded culture of people on this side. Become unified with us and help us to grow. We'll grow together. We're building wealth over here. Right now, it's manifesting mentally. To pull the people from the worldly system into the godly system that's going to create abundance of cash. We already know the system don't want to pay what you work. You work an hour, you get paid for an hour. They got the minimum. Hey, there's no minimal in life. You should be able to. God talks wealth. He don't talk life, just enough, minimals, all of that. He talks about wealth. Deuteronomy 8 and 18, my favorite. God gave us the power. I got that power to gain and to build wealth. But I got to do the action part. I got the faith, but he also said faith without works is dead. So I work it. My faith is going to manifest my wealth. I believe that. I receive that. And I have the strong faith that God will provide. So always victory. I hope everybody got it to throw down now. And I will see you on the next broadcast.